Hey there, welcome to the Second Lunch Podcast. We've got a special episode today. We have my 8th grade language arts and social studies teacher. We brought him in here to attempt to re-educate me. So welcome Mr. Harkins to the podcast. You've been teaching for like 30 years now? How long?
No.
30, 40,
20?
500 years?
522 years.
522 years. Too long.
Too long.
Most of my life.
Most of the time.
Why? Why would you do that? Why did you want to be a teacher?
Well, as it turns out, when you get into becoming a history major, when you're going to college, and you start to get towards the graduation point, and you're looking around going, what do history teachers or history majors do? You could be a librarian, you could be a history teacher, or you could take that point right there in your life and then jump into law school. And no. So I opted for the education route.
You'd be a pretty funny librarian, though. Okay, well, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Let's just jump into the questions. I know Cole had a lot of questions he wanted to ask. Actually, Cole, I got some housekeeping I wanted to get to first. There's been a lot of comments on the internet lately on the videos we're posting.
Yeah, lots.
I just wanted to share a couple of my favorite ones.
Yeah. I'm sure these are real.
These are real. These are both from TikTok. What the fuck is this?
Oh, well, that sounds authentic.
And this is the dumbest shit I've ever seen. So I feel like
we're hitting our
we're hitting our demographic. Like
yeah,
we're really,
exactly.
Yeah, did you just fact check me on that, Jake? 'Cause, yeah, I told you they're real. So anyway, I feel like we're really hitting our stride. So it's a good episode for you to be on. Let's just roll into the questions now. Let's get
So I'll start with one here. In your opinion, what are the characteristics of an annoying student? And also, did Chris have those?
Yeah. Okay.
I'll
wait.
start with the Chris aspect of the question first. Chris was the kid you love to hate to have in class because it's gonna be more fun, and that's one of the things with teaching. You got to realize that our day can get monotonous. You know, year after 522 years of teaching.
Yeah.
Okay. And every once in a while, you just need that little spark of some kid that's just going to be off the wall with the inappropriate questions, with the attitudes that you're like, I want to like you, but I'm supposed to not like you. And fast forward 20-some years, and you're drinking beer on a podcast with them, and that's Chris in class right there. He was the kid that was way ahead of the curve with
Drinking.
Yeah, we weren't going to go that direction. I was going to say sense of humor, but yes, yes, on both probably. I'm sure there was no underage drinking up on the plateau.
No, God, no.
I never heard of it.
Nope. Not us kids.
But that's the gist of it.
Yeah. So Chris didn't fall into the annoying kids camp.
Not annoying.
We were talking on the way here. He kicked me out far fewer times than most of my other teachers. I averaged getting kicked out of each one of my classes once or twice a week.
That's a pretty staggering number.
It is for the average person. I get that, but when you're and I'm on fire, right? We're talking like Dame Lillard heat check, like and then I get kicked out. But no, he would let me. He let me roll. Every once in a while, I'd get out of control.
I just enjoy the show. The annoying kid is. I can't handle whiny very well. I have never handled whiny very well. The kid that's just going to grovel about a point here or there. It's like the kid has the misconception that, I get like charged money for every point I dish out for what have you. It's like, no, I can give you an A right now if I want to, and I don't because I don't like you. If you're going to earn your A and be annoying, I'll work with that. But if you're that average B kid and you're just like trying to weasel for every point, no.
Yeah.
No. Chris was never that kid.
No, I never cared.
Just taking whatever grades
I had a
coming.
PE teacher in high school who would just like out of nowhere be like, Moran, -2. Like I could get a -6 on that. I know it's out of 4 points. Like, what are you going to give me a -2 for the day?
I will take points away from yesterday's grade.
All right.
That's called spike grading. That's a thing.
Is it?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, shit. Well,
yeah. People
that's
don't know.
why I was a C average.
That's all right. Silliest thing a student has ever asked you.
I don't even know. It all kind of mushes together. Kids are dumb. Oh, I guess.
Oh, Gino's resilient.
Gino is right there. And I've had kids ask just the ridiculous of, I wasn't paying attention. I'm going to ask the same thing that I just specifically said. And that coordinates directly with the most annoying kid right there, where you ask the class, hey, does anybody have an answer for that? And when 30 hands go up and one kid's like, shit, they know. They just asked a stupid question. The sad thing is, and as I get older, I get more grandpa-y as far as, like, when I was teaching Chris, I'd get flat out malicious to a kid and just call him out on how stupid that question was. Now it's more just like, oh, I feel bad. You're
now I'm
actually
just
trying, and you're that dumb, and I don't have an answer for you. There's nothing I can say is going to make
your book. You used to say that to us. It's in your book.
That's because I didn't know. There's a lot of history out there. You don't know all the history. I'm sure the guy that wrote the book knows. I don't know.
You always sold it well. You always sold it more like we should have known it.
Yeah.
It's in your
Why
book.
didn't you know that?
I know. I told you to read that chapter.
What you didn't know is I was reading the chapter like 2 days before you, trying to come up with a question.
While hungover.
Oh, so hungover.
All right, I got one for you.
Okay.
In your opinion, who is the single greatest historical figure, and why is it Vince Young?
Oh my God.
Because he crushed Reggie Bush. Next question.
Next question. All right, Cole.
All right. Yeah, that was a simple one. What do you feel are the most overstated and understated things in American history? Where would you cut time to give it elsewhere?
Overstated. That's hard because you already cut out the crap of a bunch of monotony of things that happen, on a regular Tuesday. The stuff that makes the history book.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, as I used to tell kids, it's like the Sports Center of history. It's like, you're not going to go over everything, but here's the big stuff that you should probably hit on.
The top 10.
And there's a good reason for all of it. Whether you want to delve into it or not, that's going to be a teacher's discretion right there. And teachers gravitate to what they know. Teachers gravitate to what they want to talk about and learn about and stuff like that. And a different teacher in the seat right now would say, you know what, we spend too much time on the Great Depression. I don't think we do personally, because I think it's fascinating. But some other teacher might say that, and 5 other teachers would say, you're not right. So to cut an aspect out of history is tough to do because it all kind of matters.
Yeah.
If I could focus more on a particular area of history, I think World War I's fascinating. I think it gets overshadowed by World War II so much. There was a lot of things moving and shaking with World War I that had global implications, not entirely from an American perspective, but from a world history perspective. But because World War II was so huge and monstrous right after that,
and involved America a lot more. Yeah.
It kind of just gets pushed by the wayside, but studying that is pretty fun. It's interesting to learn that stuff. Just a monumental shift in technology and tactics and stuff like that went into World War I, where we had old warfare, like we're going to stand up in a bunch of lines and maybe sit in a ditch for a while and then run across a field, and then machine guns. And those didn't jive too well together.
Yeah.
And post World War I, you're going to have modern warfare. Airplanes, all that good stuff, tanks and, radios, pigeons, I don't know.
Yeah. So I guess I need to amend what I've said before, that nothing before 1900 mattered. Nothing before airplanes during wars mattered.
There you go.
You
not
mean
important.
that captivated Chris's attention at least? Yeah.
I was zoning out the whole time he was talking. I was like flashbacks to 8th grade, and then airplanes. I was like, hello,
It's
P-51 Mustang. Let's talk.
before radio. Yeah.
Before radio. Oh God.
All right. Most delusional parent-teacher conference you've been party to.
Today?
We're asking you to go through the archives.
There's got to be some good ones here.
Today was the woman that emailed me 8 times because her son didn't turn in a map. Is just today. All-time greats.
All-time great.
Oh, God. I got names. This went more coaching than teaching, but I had a dad try to fight me after a track meet.
What did you do?
I had called his son stupid like 3-4 hours earlier, and again, I was a younger teacher, and I'd called kids stupid a lot that day, and the kid just happened to tell Dad about it, and Dad went to fight me after the track meet, and
was this kid being
smokes.
stupid? What did this kid do?
he cut in front of like 20 other kids about finding where he's going to run the 100-meter dash or something like that. And I'm like, first of all, you're in like heat 19. It's not going to matter a whole bunch. Just settle down.
Quit being stupid.
And yeah, you get it. And Dad didn't like that at all, and pushed me a couple times, hit me in the chest a couple times. And as he was walking away, and mind you, this is at the school that I taught you at. I don't know if we're being Inglewood because I'm wearing a sweatshirt, I guess. Guess that's out of the bag. Remember how the baseball fields were right there?
Yeah.
There was a baseball game going on with like 50, 60 parents right there watching the
So
whole thing go down.
just for listeners' sake, right behind the school, there's a football field like right in the middle, centered behind the school. Then on either side, there's a baseball field and a softball field, and it's like right next to the track. So anyway, continue.
And after he hit me in the chest a couple times, he started walking away, and then, I'm going to fucking kill you. And, it escalated. And I was so young and scared and had no idea what to do at that point in time. I just went numb to it and had a couple other coaches right there ready to jump on this guy. And it just like, he walked away, and it's like, whoa, wow. And at that point, I was shaking just because that doesn't happen. That's weird. And so I called my athletic director and said, hey, this just went down, so we need to address this, I think, and got, witnesses, stories, make sure everything's corroborating. And the next morning at 7 in the morning, we're going to have a meeting with parents, with me, with athletic director, with principal, the whole thing. And the athletic director brought our SRO in saying, hey, we should have a cop here. And at this point, I'm like, why do we need a cop here? And I'm still of the opinion, I'm young enough that I called him stupid, but I don't think that's cop worthy.
Yeah, I don't think you go to jail for that.
I don't think you can, but nonetheless, it escalated to the point where the guy got banned from school property for eternity. They asked me if I wanted to press charges.
Why? Just because he threatened to kill you?
Yeah.
I thought this was America.
But yeah, that was the most off the wall, bizarre instance that I had, and you know who it is too.
Oh, great! Can't wait to
Yeah,
hear about this after.
Anyway, that was probably the answer to that.
Okay, I got one. Did OJ do it?
You drive a Bronco, right?
I do.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, I have another one. One. Are you familiar with Fuck, Marry, Kill?
I've heard reference of that.
Okay, so I'll give you 3 names, and you have to say one that you would fuck, one that you would marry, one that you would kill.
Okay.
Fuck, marry, kill. Hitler, Mussolini, Stalin.
That's so
I'll go
unfair.
first. I'll go first.
No,
if
I
you
don't
want me
want
to.
to. I want to go off your breadcrumbs.
Okay, go crazy.
I don't historically know how to answer that. We're gonna kill Hitler. Fuck that guy.
Yeah, that's good. That's fair.
guy.
That's fair.
That also simplifies the decision making
Okay.
a lot,
So Stalin was a little guy, so maybe
Mussolini was too.
Oh.
He's more that bombastic guy. I don't want to listen to that.
Yeah, that's exactly.
So I don't want to marry Mussolini.
That's exactly.
I don't want to marry Mussolini because I don't want to listen to that all the time. So I guess my answer's been made there.
Yeah, okay.
Marrying Stalin.
I'm marrying Stalin.
So.
And here we go with Mussolini.
That's interesting because my answers are different. I would definitely kill Stalin.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I
Legit.
get that we should kill Hitler. I mean, we should kill all of them if we're being real. But the whole point here is to force some weird decisions.
That's an odd
I
question.
think that this is still forcing plenty of weird decisions. I don't think there's some like middle of the road.
I'm going to kill Stalin. I am actually going to marry Mussolini for the exact same reason you said you wouldn't. Just because he's fucking insane. That guy was like, bombastic was the perfect word, by the way. He was just the false bravado, and it was hilarious if you watch it, not knowing what he's actually saying. You're like, that guy's probably hilarious.
Good thing
not
we don't
hilarious.
have that anymore.
Not hilarious at all, right?
He also has the least power of all three of them. He's like the least likely to have you whacked for like mocking him.
Fair. Also, I like Italy. I had a nice time in Italy. I had a nice time.
And he probably has a nice summer place.
And I really think Hitler just kind of deserved one in the butt. So I guess I'd have to fuck Hitler.
Okay.
You gonna answer that one, Cole, or not?
Yeah. What's your take on this?
I already fundamentally agreed with you. I think you got to start with killing Hitler every time, and then, I mean, I could see, like I said, marrying Mussolini. At least the one thing you have there is that's like the safest hypothetical option. You don't have the NKVD, like killing a bunch of old Bolsheviks and shit all the
Nice job
time.
with the historical accuracy.
I've done a little bit of reading, but yeah, Mussolini, by the end of World War II, he's on the run. He's like 43 onward. He's not doing too well. So, yeah, I guess maybe I'd marry Mussolini for that reason.
Okay.
Then I'm going to have to fuck Stalin.
I am into Eastern Europeans.
Welcome to Georgia. What is the best piece of advice another teacher has ever given you, and what's the worst?
When I was student teaching, the guy I student taught for is now the superintendent of Lake Stevens High School, or Lake Stevens School District. So he was a guy on a pretty strong trajectory. I had a lesson plan that was supposed to be a big debate, and it was supposed to be really intricate and complex. And when I went to go with this lesson plan in front of my observer from Western, all the Honor Society kids were on a field trip, so all my smart kids were gone, and and I'm trying to impress the guy from Western. I'm trying to impress the student, my mentor teacher, and I'm trying to do a debate with the not smart kids, and it didn't go well. And the best advice I ever got was my mentor teacher looked at me and said, "That didn't work." And he's looked at his watch and you got about 3.5 minutes to fix it because the next period was coming in. It's like, sometimes you just got to punt, and sometimes you got to think on your feet, and sometimes it's not going to go well, and you've still got more kids coming, and they're never going to stop.
Yeah.
So
the break is 5 minutes between
You better
periods.
figure it out pretty quick, or else you're going to have a pretty bad day. Worst advice? Don't worry, that kid won't remember you said that. There's been a couple directions of that. Yeah, kids remember most things, especially when it's a little bit out of the ordinary. Oh, you threw up in a garbage can there. Anyway, yeah.
That turns out they don't have
turns out
amnesia for that
They've got
stuff.
a pretty good memory.
All right, I've got one. If you were trapped in any time before 1900, or should we say, when did World War II start? Any time before World War II.
39.
Which is when history actually starts.
Okay, we've evolved from the airplane.
Yeah, right. We've moved from the Wright brothers up 35 years.
What time period would you least want to be trapped in if you had to take a shit? Like there's no holding it. It's happening.
It's gonna happen.
You're gonna have
one
to
way
go.
or another.
Yeah.
It's
Yep.
that whole plague thing.
Strong answer.
that can't that can't be good.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with that. The bubonic plague, you're already a little on edge, and having to take a big shit isn't going to help you out. That's not going to make you feel good about your day.
Yeah. When did the Great Stink happen, Cole?
Oh, the Great Stink was it was mid-19th century. It was like 1858 or so, but I could be off like 10 years.
I don't know if it'd be better or worse to do it then, because you're not...
Well, the act itself wouldn't be as bad, but the act of living in London near the Thames River would be way fucking worse.
Is that when all the sewers broke, basically?
Well,
nothing worked?
I think what it was that people had been slopping out basically into the river for centuries, and there was one particularly crazy heat wave, and so the water levels got lower than they had been in a long time. It's an enormous Wikipedia page, like way longer than...
For one stink, it's crazy.
It's like a Battle of Stalingrad level. Like, holy shit. Did it kill 2 million people? But I think at one point, like the king and queen had went out on the river to do some PR thing, and they had to turn back within 5 minutes because it was just that oppressive. But yeah, it was the heat plus... the level of the river, and then it led to them actually cleaning it up. But yeah, I still think, shitting in the actual plague time would be way worse and more dangerous an act.
I think we have the title of the episode, Shitting in the Plague.
Yeah.
Glad I could be here.
That's always my thing when, for example, when you tried to teach me history. No, literally, I always think, how did they go to the bathroom? How did they live? Like, why? I don't even know how these people existed. How am I supposed to care about any of this other shit?
Washing clothing. Things like,
What'd you guys eat?
Yeah.
You thought tomatoes were poisonous? You're fucking dumb. Stop using lead plates.
It's the lead?
It was the lead that was on the plates that made the tomatoes poisonous.
Don't eat lead.
Quote unquote.
Yeah.
Okay.
People were dying from lead poisoning because the acidity in the tomatoes was...
Well, it was also... are we talking about the Roman times? Because they were putting lead acetate.
Yes.
Yeah. Sugar of lead also. Yeah.
Sugar of lead.
Yeah. In their wine, which, you do that enough. Okay, I think I had one more teaching-specific question here. What subject would you most like to teach, given the opportunity, and which one would you never want to teach?
Never math.
Fair. Very fair.
Truth be told, I wasn't entirely honest with my math teachers as I was going through the public education system. Maybe not all my own work.
Yeah.
I'm just going to leave it at that. But my daughter is in 8th grade right now, and I'm so far back from being able to help her.
Yeah. Completely
she
understand.
Laughs, and it's sad. And I feel bad. It hurts my heart a little. So no, not math. Not PE. PE would be the answer a lot of people would gravitate to, but again, you show up and it's wintertime and you're hungover and you're in a gym and no.
These lights are too bright.
Everything hurts. My head hurts. No.
I can't help you with your
and you got to do
form
6
right
periods of that too.
A lot of
not like, oh, I'm going to play a game of
with
pickup.
band. Hey, look
Yeah,
at these
you
kids
can't-
playing a trumpet right now. No.
not when I'm hungover.
No.
We're playing quiet trumpet today. Yeah. Oh my God, I didn't even think about that. Being
Can
a
you
hungover
imagine?
PE teacher,
No.
you can't just put on a movie.
No. That's a go-to right there.
Yeah, you're
We're running the mile. That would be what I did. You guys are running the mile.
Go outside, and I'll watch you from this window. And make it fast.
Keep running until I
or
come
don't.
out.
Or don't make it fast and take the period. You know?
We're walking a mile today.
I think biology would be kind of cool.
Oh,
Not that I know a lot about biology, but...
Yeah, we're talking hypotheticals.
Hypotheticals. I think economics would be kind of cool, but that kind of gravitates a little towards the social studies aspect. I think English, no. I taught
that's
English.
fair.
You were
wasn't
telling
great.
me last time I met up with you, you were teaching a class that sounded kind of like life skills, like you taught kids how to change a tire.
I would try to incorporate that with a lot of my classes. Just like you'd have, 5 minutes at the end of the period, and like, hey, who knows how to, jumpstart a car? Mm-hmm. And not a lot. Now that I'm up in Snohomish, more.
Yeah.
Redmond, not so much.
Yeah.
I hit the microphone. Snohomish, they're rebuilding their own engines, and they're teaching. You don't do it that way. I'm like, oh, okay. Which
Good day for me to learn
leads me
something.
to a whole nother concept of, usually I know what I'm talking about 20% of the time. Mm-hmm. And after that, it's like, I think it would be that way. And kids are dumb, and okay.
Yeah. 20%. That must mean I'm somewhere closer to 10% because I'm nowhere.
Probably.
Yeah. Well, that sounds like a good time to transition into you attempting to teach me something again. Because teachers...
Is this just like dealer's choice?
Teachers get paid too much, so you're going to have to do it for free. Yeah, dealer's choice here. We kind of discussed a couple things that made me bored to the point I didn't think I would be able to pay attention to you when talking about, which was
Is
the
this
Renaissance.
now or back then?
Both.
Okay.
Yeah, the Renaissance, don't know why that matters. Who cares? Also, ancient Egypt, although cooler because pyramids. And how the fuck did they do that?
The pyramids are fascinating to me because firm believer in the aliens building those. When you watch the movie Stargate, that's real life.
Slice of life.
It's not in every textbook that you get.
It's not in every textbook. You see, this, if you would have just said this. Yeah, okay, good.
Yeah.
Done.
Well,
Aliens.
I don't remember my my AP Euro history class when I was like 15.
You took nerd.
Oh,
Yeah,
God,
exactly. It
fucking
was too early.
AP brag already.
Oh, it
Do you
didn't.
know how many AP history classes I took?
I'll tell you this, I did not pass the test on that one. 15 was too, like, they give you U.S. history when you're 16. It's like 300 years of one place. European history a year earlier, it's like a fucking 1,000 years and 40 places. It's like way more expansive. Making me name rivers and shit. But
You already
how is
brought
that
up the
pronounced?
Thames.
Yeah.
that's one of like the three I know. The Yangtze and the Mississippi. That's it. But I thought the Renaissance at least
The
part
Rhine.
of the... Yeah, there we go.
That's one.
That's Amazon.
Is that like Rhinehouse?
It's yeah, exactly. I
Yes.
associate history with bars. But I thought the Renaissance was at least partially important. It's like the end of the Dark Ages, right?
Yeah.
Like some sort of emergence from the post.
Oh my
I
God.
can
Roman
get behind
collapse.
I can get behind the Renaissance. That's an interesting time.
Okay, what happened?
Everything.
We stopped. We stopped being in the plague. We stopped.
So there's the
stopped
plague
being
comes
plague.
back
Okay.
again. That's done and over with. That's when European civilization kind of gets to where we are now. That's the starting point. You had 1,000 years of
Okay,
the
what
medieval.
what time is it?
When did it start?
1400s.
Oh, fuck me. Okay.
And
Mid
lasted-
1400s.
Lasted
Jesus.
for a good 200 years
Yeah.
or so. 150,
And you
yeah.
get all your turtles. You get, the
Turtles?
Yeah, the
Leonardo
Teenage
and
Mutant ones.
Oh,
Michelangelo, all those guys.
All right. I was like,
And-
they invented turtles? No, okay.
No, they were around before that. But as it turns out, the Florence. You liked Rome, but Florence is going to be
Yeah.
the centerpiece for
Florence is very cool.
for that. And it's one of those weird times in history where you've got some absolute giants in history, all at the same place, all at the same time, all thinking the same general direction, and it's super duper rare. And you can make the same argument with like the founding fathers of the U.S. all being in upper northeast, all at the same time, all thinking, you know what, maybe we can make a country kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Renaissance is going to do that same thing. How we use money, how we get from point to point, how we are going to build civilization. That's it, and it's all going to come
But
down.
did
to
they have
Florence.
airplanes?
Well, then
Leonardo
you start looking
tried.
at Leonardo da Vinci and all the shit he was building, like a questionably, maybe it'll work helicopter that he made in the 1450s or something like that, with the blueprints at least.
You also had the emergence of some new leadership ideas, some good, some bad, but a little bit more complicated, where it's like, oh, we could have an enlightened despot. Like, what's that? It's like, well, it's not just a basic king or
I was
queen.
going to
It's
say,
like,
what's that?
it's like a real smart guy that's not really, he's sort of ambivalent about the whole, he's sort of a third party, but he can make the decisions for the people. But
But
these
then
were
you
like-
get like the Medici, who that's how money is used today. Basically, that's going to start in Florence.
So wait, what was happening before that?
A lot of trade.
A lot of highway robbery.
Yeah.
One sheep equals.
A lot of weird bartering and.
That sounds better.
How many chickens do you have?
That sounds better. I can trade you 3 dick jokes for. I'm kind of doing that now, actually.
Yeah.
Except I get money in
You're getting
return
paid
instead
for
of
this?
direct food.
Are we? I have the This Week in History questions.
Oh, we
but I
should
didn't
do
know if
those
wanted
before
to-
we continue with more education. We're just going to kind of use that to fill time. We have more dumb questions.
I mean, we've got like 25 minutes or so.
We'll
but,
probably eat that with these.
Okay, so I'm just going to start with a random one here. February 27th, 1812, poet Lord Byron gives his first address as a member of the House of Lords in defense of Luddite violence against industrialism in his home county of Nottinghamshire. Have you ever...
Okay, that's in England. That's the most British name of anything I've ever heard. Nottingham wasn't enough. They had to go Nottinghamshire. Anyway.
gotta
It's like the fox. That's
distinguish
the
them.
fox in the Disney movie. Nottingham.
Yeah.
Robin Hood.
Yeah.
Have you ever been mad enough at an inanimate object to destroy it?
Oh, yeah. Big time. Pretty much any time I've stubbed my toe, I've thought about it. But I've broken more than one chair. Actually, I've broken chairs without being mad, but that is a separate discussion. Yeah, I've kicked the shit out of some stuff. I've stubbed my toe on. I'm like, toe already hurts. I might as well fucking wreck this thing. Getting in my goddamn way. What about you?
My wife thought it'd be a good idea for me to put a new thermostat in the wall.
Is it still there?
No. And after I shocked the shit out of myself with 110 volt, I punched the wall and hurt my hand and yelled "fuck" so loud that my toddler daughter walked down the hall and said "fuck, fuck, 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 fuck."
Core memory unlocked.
Yeah, exactly. Son of a bitch.
As it turns out, I'm not good with electricity, and you got to know these things about yourself as you
you do.
as you jump into like home ownership and things like that.
I've definitely been that mad. I office spaced a printer like 3 weeks ago.
Damn, it feels good to be a gangster.
It kept on doing this thing where like it would print 15 pages and then I didn't use it enough and like ink would dry out and I just had to spike it. I don't even know if it was really a mechanical issue or more of like a user issue, but it's destroyed now, so the question can't be answered. Yeah, exactly. I'm glad we're using This Week in History to talk about our
Anger problem?
Yeah, exactly. All right. February 26th, 1815, Napoleon escapes from exile on the island of Elba. What's the most anxious you've ever been to leave somewhere?
Island. Wait, hold on. Why the fuck were these people on boats? Remember I told you I was researching
They put them there to
shipwrecks
try to
and stuff?
keep them away.
But I get it. Why would you get on a boat even to get back? I would stay on the fucking island. Why were people trusting boats back then?
Elba's like on the Riviera too. I mean, that's gorgeous territory.
Oh, so you should have stayed.
You don't need to leave.
Yeah.
Well, where they locked him up the second time wasn't nearly as nice.
That's what's good.
Yeah. It was
Guantanamo?
it was also an island, but it was a real
Gitmo,
wet,
for
shitty
short.
one that... Yeah, he died young after moving there.
What was the question? Most anxious to get out of a place?
Yeah.
Anytime I've been to Mexico. I've been like,
I had a great time
fuck,
recently.
I gotta get out of here. I can't. I went to the Dominican Republic and I felt more at home there, and I saw 2 dead bodies on that trip. Mexico sketches me out for some reason. Every time I've been to Mexico, I've been like,
When I was in Isla Mujeres, it was fun. But
Where
where
were
did you? By Cancun, touristy place.
Okay.
So that's why I was going to ask, like, where were you at?
Cancun,
Cancun
Cozumel.
freaked me out. I went there 2 spring breaks ago because I'm a teacher, so I get spring break. You get spring break? You?
Nope.
Fuck
I
you
made the
guys
wrong. I made the wrong career.
Actually, I
choice.
quit my job, so it's always spring break.
It's spring, right? Like a week before we go to Mexico, the place we're staying had guys come by on jet skis and spray the beach down with machine guns. And I was like, the hell are we doing? But we bought the tickets to go there.
What message am I supposed to take from that?
On a raffle at an auction for the elementary school that my kids went to. And it's like, oh, okay. That's
Well,
all
we
I
gotta
got.
go.
Yeah.
Gotta go.
Didn't you have a weird encounter in Amsterdam?
Yeah. Yeah, I told you guys this story because
You definitely told
years
me.
later it still freaked me out. I almost got killed by a drug dealer there. I was not even partaking, and I was
looked
walking,
too Irish.
I looked a little too Irish. Maybe the American in me came out a little bit, and middle of the day, walking down the wrong street at the wrong time, and a guy started walking next to me and talking to me, and he's a nice guy, and he's bigger than me, and I was svelte then. I was more svelte, and we're going down. In hindsight, he's steering me through the city of Amsterdam for a couple blocks. And if you don't know anything about Amsterdam, it's all canals and stuff like that. There are more canals in Amsterdam than Venice.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Did not know that.
It's really a really cool city. It's kind of it looks like a spider web if you look at it from up above.
They have a lot of folks who live on boats and stuff there too, right?
Yeah. And this guy gets me going, and I take a corner, and the whole time he's like, "Hey, do you want to buy some weed?" And I'm like, "No, I'm good. I don't need any weed." "Hey, do you want some acid?" "No, I don't like acid." And "Hey, do you want some coke?" I'm like, it just keeps elevating, and to the point where
some meth.
Yeah.
Well, meth wasn't around at that point.
You want some deadly nightshade? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah. So I'm getting a little, the hackles are coming up a little bit, and I'm dead sober. It's like 11 in the morning, and that's not when you're going to get jumped, right?
Mm-hmm.
Wrong. So he keeps going up and up and up the level of different drugs, and I'm like, nope. And then it's like, this is getting bad. And I look up, and we go around this corner, and there's a brick wall and a canal, and me and him, and he is significantly bigger than I am. And looks at me, he's like, "You gonna buy me my shit?" I'm like, "Nope." I'm like, "Fuck, I'm gonna get killed." And he's like, "Well, you got a fucking problem?" I go, "Nope." He's like, "You got a fucking problem now." Yep. And squares me up, and as he had me squared up and holding on to both my sleeves, I'm thinking I'm gonna get killed and thrown into a canal. A couple people came around the corner, and he looked up, and I hit him in the chest, and he let go, and I kept trucking with those guys, and bought a switchblade and went to Paris.
Title of my book.
Bought a switchblade and went to Paris.
Bought a switchblade and went to Paris, and I still have the switchblade. It's one of my prized possessions.
So that would be the most anxious I would have been.
Yeah, that would have been great. I mean, for me to go to Paris, I must have been anxious to get out of somewhere. Holy shit. Wow, what about you, Cole?
Well, I'm not going to use the scenario driven. That'd be like when the SWAT team showed up at my dad's house or something, which I think we've already gone through that. But I would say anytime I was at the Gorge, anytime I'm at Sasquatch Music Festival or anything where it's like, I always have a great time, but it's like the old question of, what's better, going on vacation or coming back? What's the better emotional feel?
The Gorge. I always have a great time until I realize I have to sleep there.
Yeah, there's the sleeping amidst the noise. There's also the breathing in of the dust. But the first 6 times I was out there was a dumb teenager and
waking up in a 110-degree tent.
Well, there's also we would come back with respiratory problems every time. Like, man, I got sick from Sasquatch again. No, you were breathing dust in the Gorge for 4 days. You're just hacking up silica. That's not that's not an illness that you have. Okay. Got more questions here. All right. February 26, 1616, Galileo is formally banned by the Roman Catholic Church.
Fuck that guy.
Classic.
From teaching or defending the view that the Earth orbits the sun. Are there any establishments where you're unwelcome? Or have you ever been kicked out of a bar?
You have to have some. You're wearing a Raiders hat.
Now that is prejudice.
And an Inglewood sweatshirt.
Inglehood. Shit, have I been kicked out of any place? Not to my knowledge. Does that mean no? Unwelcome? Sure.
Yeah, I feel like I'm unwelcome basically anywhere by the
I think
something
that's your
about
own
the brow
anxiety.
line. Oh, there's that, but no, I definitely feel
Yeah, you've
like
got the caveman brow too. I feel that. We don't allow Neanderthals in here.
Yeah, understood. I get it.
Got what? Yeah. Any place?
we had a group of guys that got together to go buy Christmas presents for our wives and significant others one time, and we did this about 3 years in a row, and it turned out that you drank a little bit on these adventures, and my buddy and I were inebriated a little bit, and we both lost our cell phones in the same general time frame at the same general and
within a few minutes of each other.
And the concept was, I think we were in a taxi, but I don't remember, but they probably still inebriated, they probably take all that stuff that gets lost in taxis to the police station. So we went to the police station looking for our phones.
Drunk.
They didn't like us there. And we walked around the Everett police station a couple times because we couldn't figure out where the door to the...
Oh, come on. In Everett, you're the least of their problems.
I recognize that now. But at the time, it was like, if you can't figure out how to get into the police station, don't go into the police station. Because...
It turns out the police don't like people snooping around
they don't
the
like
police
that.
station.
And that,
peering in windows.
We never found our phones. We never left them.
Wow.
That was it.
I wonder if they just got stolen by some, you guys were being a little drunk, left them on a table or something, they just got snatched.
This is Everett we're talking about.
It was Everett.
Yeah.
A lot of things can be said about that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that says it all, really.
I've got a couple silly ones left here. February 22nd, 1997, British scientists announced that an adult sheep named Dolly has been successfully cloned. Who would you clone? Very silly question. They can be alive or dead.
Well, I don't want them to be dead.
Just know that if it's like Ted Williams' kid freezing his head, he might not come back and hit 400.
Without a head, I doubt it. Got to be able to see.
Eye in the ball. Yeah. That's a big problem.
Oh man, two Giannis's would be pretty cool.
Are we going back to Office Space? 2 Giannis's at the same time?
Yeah. 2 is something at the same time, then it's Jennifer Aniston, if we're being real.
Also Office Space.
Alive.
Not dead.
No.
Jennifer Aniston.
Okay, 1 dead, 1 alive. If you could clone anybody. Okay, if we could clone...
What about pre-injury Bo Jackson with your jersey right there? Just to see what he could have done.
One that plays basketball and baseball. One that plays football and another
one
sport.
One that plays football.
No, they both have to play 2 sports, so he can play 4.
Oh. What if we double up?
Deion Sanders would be cool, too.
I don't like Deion Sanders.
Yeah,
I agree.
Bo is a much more likable fellow.
Double Bo Jackson with multiple sports. So we got 4 sports to play with.
What 2
would we
sports
want
are
to
you
see?
adding?
What do we want to see Bo Jackson do? The football and baseball are givens.
Basketball, he'd be such a good small forward. Just a little cutter. You can. Oh,
I don't think so. I'm gonna say no on the basketball.
I'm always curious about.
Then what are you gonna have? Hockey? He'd be good at hockey.
What about hockey?
He'd be good at hockey.
Give him 10 years, learn how to skate.
Yeah, because his body type. I always love to think of these guys like entering, UFC or boxing ring, but I don't think he's a little bit too stocky for the conventional sort of.
Boxing would be pretty cool, though.
Be cool, but I think he'd have to get inside.
People.
He'd have to get inside.
With that guy's throwing arm, I just think the torque he would kill
What
somebody.
about tennis?
Oh,
That'd be wild.
That would be wild.
Could you imagine?
Okay,
him
3
serving?
Bo Jacksons.
3 Bo Jacksons.
I'm getting basketball in one way or the other.
Okay, we'll go with basketball. We'll give you your basketball.
Bo's-
with 3 Bo
on the
Jacksons.
third Bo. Yeah.
Bo's court coverage would be incredible on the tennis court.
Yeah. What's the 6th sport then?
I believe Nike had a whole ad campaign going into the direction where we are right now.
Yeah, we're doing the Bo nose thing, aren't we, in real time?
Who are you gonna clone?
I'm going to try to clone a real smart fellow from a long time ago to just see what they can figure out. Like Da Vinci or maybe Newton, just to see if they can, starting
Were you gonna have
as
them
a
in
child.
present day and just blow their
Well,
fucking
where the
mind?
fuck are all these kids that have been listening to Mozart since they were in the fucking womb? Have they cured a goddamn thing yet? No, they haven't. So bring back one of the ones that already proved they could do it.
What about Mozart? What would Mozart do today?
Right? Got all of
There you
this
go.
modern music at his fingertips, and he can learn and, adapt and
Okay,
invent something new
now
from it.
hear me out on this. It doesn't
I already
necessarily
don't like it.
It doesn't
We're back to the Hitler
necessarily
question.
have to be Hitler. But if we could have two and put them on the moon to face off, it would be pretty funny.
But this is your one shot. This is your one bite of the apple.
And you bring
you're
back
gonna-
Hitler.
for a gag. Not even for whatever a quote-unquote good reason would be.
I like the Da Vinci call. I think that supersedes Hitler if we're if
Better
we're gonna have a
choice, I'm
chance.
glad.
Yeah, I guess we don't have to bring him back. It's fine.
Don't sound too disappointed. We've got like 10 minutes or so, I think. Jake, is that about right? Or yeah. I've got a couple more this week in histories, but I don't
Let's
know
do
what else
those.
yet.
Let's
Okay.
do them because they were all good.
Okay, I have two more at least. February 23rd, 1854, a penny red becomes the first perforated postage stamp to be officially issued for distribution. What's the silliest thing you collect?
Oh, God. Pretty much everything. Jerseys, for starters. Die-cast NASCARs. NASCAR
That's nice
cars.
and silly. Yeah.
It's pretty dumb. Record, like, why do I have vinyl? I can just listen to the
You have
song.
vinyl?
I don't. Oh yeah, I got a lot.
You put money into that?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Yeah, I've put way too much money into that too.
It's nice. It's a whole thing. It's ceremonious.
When you're living in the apocalypse and you're trying to trade some old analog music for a can of green beans,
Again, I'll be trading dick jokes. So.
I think you're really overstating their value in the apocalyptic economy, but
I read The Road, and that doesn't get it done.
yeah, exactly. You're going to need a lot more dick-related stuff, in fact, to...
All right, I'll keep working on it.
You think you just need the right act.
Yeah.
It's not the fact that we're in the post-apocalypse. It's just that all these comedians are hacks. These jokes just suck.
What about you? You collect anything?
Not really.
I feel like you'd collect something fun and cheap, like beer cans. Different beer cans.
I had an idea a long time ago where I was collecting all the beer caps, and I was going to make something cool, like a map or something like that. Didn't pan out. But I do have a 5-gallon bucket of beer caps in my garage right now, and I don't know what to do with them, and I'm not going to throw them away.
No, you can't throw
They've
them
been
away.
collected for an art project of some kind.
When my son was about 4, he took a cap off a beer real quick, and I was like, I don't even know what to think. And I
Clearly
kept that
that's
one.
genetic.
I kept that beer cap, and I nailed it to the wall and said, like, that's Sam's first.
Yeah.
You know? But as far as like just collections, I don't have much.
Sports cards?
It's good for the real
I
estate
have
in your house.
I have all my baseball cards and football cards from when I was a kid. So
pretty
that was
sweet.
just
Which was what, like 1930s? 32?
yeah, right in there.
Yeah.
When electricity was made.
Is this before or after airplanes?
That's why I was struggling with the thermostat. Predates me.
I got a scar. It's on my finger or my knuckle.
Just from the thermostat?
No, when I punched it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, not the...
After I got shocked, I punched it. It was all one cohesive motion, and
It's pretty funny that you got shocked and you went to touch it again. You were so mad.
and my wife just laughed and laughed and laughed, and
That's the right attitude, honestly.
she has this thing where when she has this nervous laugh when she knows I'm just freaking irate, she'll have this and it's not funny, but it's funny. I see it now.
It's
In hindsight, I get why
now
that
it's
may
been
have been
diffused,
humorous.
right? All right, we're running low on time, and I had one last question. So, February 22nd, 1889, President Grover Cleveland signs a bill admitting North Dakota, South Dakota, Montana, and Washington as U.S. states. Is that a weak state class? Is that the weakest state class? I'm going to go over those inductees again. North Dakota, South Dakota, Montana, Washington. I feel like Washington's doing a lot of heavy lifting there.
Should Larry Walker be in the Hall? I'm not sure. Was he ever the best outfielder?
You're talking to a Cardinals fan here. You're talking to the wrong guy.
I don't know. I don't know. That's it. That is a weak class. I say the weakest one is whatever one had New Mexico in it because they didn't.
Oh, New Mexico and Arizona came in at the same time.
They didn't fucking bother with that at all. I mean, Arizona's not great.
Didn't we just take them from Mexico?
Not only that.
Mexico?
Yeah, exactly that. They're like, this kind of looks like that other place. Yeah, they didn't even fuck around with the name.
Hey.
They're just like, it's the new one.
Hey, Mexico. Oh, sorry. New Mexico.
Yeah. I bet we'll make this Mexico better than the old one. No, it's not. It is maybe worse.
I do have one other weak state class. It's only 2 states, but Idaho, Wyoming. Same.
Yeah, that sucks.
Rough. I
read. Hold on. I got something to say about this right now.
Okay, go, please.
I read in the news today, Idaho fucked up a lethal injection so bad they're not killing the guy.
Oh, no.
They just decided
we're really sorry about this.
They punched this guy in the vein 8 times unsuccessfully to kill him. He's a serial killer. And then they just said, we quit. We're not going to do it.
Jesus.
So there you go for Idaho.
Are you sure they didn't decide that it was a greater punishment to live in Idaho?
That's pretty good.
Than to die anywhere.
Oh, that reminds me of that guy who was on death row, but he was so fat they couldn't hang him because.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, yeah. He got like a stay
of execution. That's a good way out. He may have diabetes,
no decapitation.
But I love that it's called admitted. I mentioned.
Oh yeah, admitted into the union.
Yeah, like people finally had to admit that it was a state. It's not like admittance. They're just like, fuck yeah. I mean, I hate to say it, but New Mexico is a state.
Do they really deserve it?
No, that place sucks.
I've never been to New Mexico. I can't talk too much trash.
You don't have to.
I feel like a lot of the opposition to Puerto Rico is just that 51's a hard number. So who gets demoted? You know, it's like
Oklahoma.
English Premier League.
Is there any way to push them?
I think that's
down into the ocean.
No, you got to go North Dakota out of the gate.
North Dakota's got to go,
hell
man.
has North Dakota ever done for anything?
And that's pretty. Easy. Have you ever been there?
That's easy to just kick up to Canada.
Actually, that was the only place I've driven through. I felt like for a second it wasn't real. Like I was looking out the window and it looked like a painting. It doesn't look real when you're driving through North Dakota. It's like weird pretty.
Were you on peyote?
Everything. No, that would be New Mexico, and it still didn't help. We could give New Mexico back.
Again, I got
the only thing I know about.
Did we build a wall yet? We can just.
I agree with Mike on this one, though. You got to just
give it
starts
to Canada.
and ends with North Dakota. Yeah. It's like, I don't know how the.
Nah, we see if we do that, we got to take BC because BC is pretty cool, and it doesn't connect with Alaska.
Oh, are we getting a trade?
Makes more sense.
I'd
so then we're
BC.
still at 50.
Yeah.
So
Hawaii is cool. We're not giving that away.
No, we earned that one.
Well, there's some historical accuracy that needs to be. We're not giving that back anytime soon.
I still vote. I still vote New Mexico. That place. You guys haven't been there. It's the only place I've ever been in my life where I knew I had crossed a border without seeing a sign because the roads just went from being pretty good to potholes everywhere.
I actually have done that part of that drive. I know what you're talking about.
It's crazy. And there's just like folks walking around next to the highway. It's like, where do you live?
Yeah, we did a road trip down to Austin, and I remember driving through and going, this is beautiful here. These roads are terrible.
Yeah,
fucked up.
Yeah.
It's about that time, Chris.
Where are we at on time?
I think we're at the finish line. Do you want to wrap us up?
Well, I feel like I was successfully educated. Let's sum up the Renaissance. Turtles, money,
paintings,
helicopter. We like those things.
Yeah, helicopter. There we go. Almost a helicopter.
Working on it.
Galileo.
We did it.
Figaro. Yeah. Thank you guys for listening. We are on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. Check us out there. This is usually when I would pitch it over to the guest to promote anything they want to talk about. What's your basketball schedule like? Anything you guys in the playoffs or no?
No.
Okay. Well,
stay in school.
Stay in school. Stay on drugs. At least try them. figure out if you like them
Well,
or not.
learn your way around them. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't have anything else. Bucks and 6.